All right, so now the things you just copied right now are, how do I even put it? So now the things you just copied right now, they are basically a pre-written code on Firebase. So what am I saying? First of all, you copied this, and I told you that this basically like entails your configuration. So as you can see, you have your API key right here that basically says, oh, this is your API to this project, and then only you have access to it. Only you can, make changes and tweak whatever it is you want to tweak there. You have your authentication domain, you have your project ID, storage bucket, a lot of things that you don't really need to worry about. They've already been provided to you by what? By Firebase. Now, moving on, you now have series of code written again by Firebase to authenticate a user creating an account with what? Email and password, as you can see. Now, you don't really have to what? Worry about all of those things again. They've already been done for you. So all you have to do is what? Get this particular module from Firebase. Now, let me explain to you what a module is so you can understand what I'm trying to tell you. Now, basically what a module is a module is an imported function. So I'm going to say imported function. Now, that's basically what a module is, or what modules are. When we talk about modules, they are functions imported from one particular JavaScript file to another JavaScript file. Now, that's basically what your functions are. Now, let me explain to you what it is in just simple terms. So I'm going to open up a new window with another file. So to explain it, where is what we did in our last class? So I think it should be this. Yeah, it should be this. Now, let me explain to you what I'm trying to say. For instance, let's create a particular function that alerts, that says welcome to. So we're not going to say we're going to create a function that says welcome to Tech Edu. So let's do something like that. So what are we going to do? This is app.js, this is script.js, two different JavaScript files. But what do we want to do? In our app.js, let us check our index.html first. As you can see, your index.html is connected to your script.js. So that means your HTML does not have access to app.js. Now, let's now say your function that you want to create is inside of your app.js. So you now want to import it in your script that is connected to index.js. Now, let me show you. In app.js, what are we going to do? We're just going to create a function that automatically alerts welcome to Tech Edu. So what are we going to say? I'm going to say function, right? That's what I'm going to write. Function, so alert message, right? Alert message, and then we're going to have alerts. We're going to say welcome to Tech Edu, right? Then in this place, what I'm not going to do is I'm going to export this function. Now, why am I exporting this function? I'm exporting this function because I want to be able to what? I want how do I put it? I want to be able to what? Have access to this particular function in another application. So I can easily export alert message. So as you can see, I've exported it. Let me use export default instead. Export default. I think it should be export default. Yeah. Export default. Now, good. I've exported alert message. So as you can see now, this alert message has been exported. Now, in my script.js now, I can now go ahead and say, oh, since this is my I can go ahead and say, oh, import. Then I can now import this alert message from app.js. So I can say import alert, right, message. So as you can see, that's already giving me where I'm importing it from where. Then I put the file path. I can now say app.js. Now, what have I just done? I just imported a particular what message, and I can call out my function here, alert message. So as you can see, this is actually where I'm calling out the function. So if I go ahead and go live now, I can now have access to that particular function right in this place. If I refresh, so I don't think it's even connected yet. So you know what, let's do something in the console instead. So I'm going to say console.log. This is an analysis from app.js. Good. So let's use this. So now let us try and check out our console and let's see what we have. Hopefully we should have this. So cannot use an import statement outside a module. Outside a module. What does that actually mean? Okay, let me export it this way. Control X, export function. Good. So let's try it out and let's see what we have. Cannot use import statement outside of a module. What exactly is it trying to tell us? Okay, it's actually supposed to work. Cannot use import statement outside a module. Okay, let's copy the error message and let's see what we have on Google. So okay, so problem now is that we need to make sure that in our HTML we add a type of module. So I'm going to come back to my HTML, and instead of using just the script, I'm also going to say type, and I'm going to say module, so that they know that what they're trying to import is a module. So if you check it out, and I think it should work. So now you see, it says this is an alert message from app.js. But I want you to check how the file path was created. First of all, we wrote the function in where? App.js. Then in script.js, we called out that function by importing it from app.js. Then in our index of HTML, what exactly are we referencing? The script. That is how module works. Module is saying that, okay, there's a particular function in one app, but you need to call that particular function into another app by exporting it and importing it. Now, that is basically what module is. Please, do we understand what module is? There's a reason I'm explaining module to us. Is it clear to us? If it is clear, give me a thumbs up. If it is not, I'll explain it again. Please, is it clear?
It's clear to me, I understand.
Okay, please, who else has issues with it? Mr. David, Mr. Kelvin, Mr. Shegun. If it is not clear, it is important that we all understand this. So if nobody answers me, I'll just assume that we understand it. Okay, I'll explain it again. Let me just explain it again so everybody gets it.
Yeah.
So this is what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying. Now, let me have app.js again. I'm going to clear everything again and start again. Now, when we talk about module, so I'm going to write modules, right? Modules are basically functions that are then called in another function. So what am I saying? So let's say my name is Paul, and there is another house next to my house, right? Okay, let's use something like that. My name is Paul, and there's another house next to my house. Now, the person in the other house is now calling my name, saying Paul, but I'm not exactly in that person's house. But whenever the person calls my name, because we are close, what happens? I have to leave my house and go and meet the person. That's what modules are. So modules are like functions that are, first of all, defined in one application or in one particular file, JavaScript file, or whatever language you're using, and then called in another file for it to perform a specific function. So this is what I'm trying to say. Let's say, for instance, in our code right here now, what we want to do is that we want something to print out to the console. We want to say, oh, welcome to TechEdu, to be printed out to the console, right? But we want to create that particular function in app.js. Now, as you can see, app.js is not linked to HTML. What is linked? Scripts.js. So what we're going to do is that what? We're going to what? Define that function in app.js, export it, and call it as a module in what? Scripts.js for it to work. So how do we do it? I can say function alert message, right? Then we're not gonna have so let's say console.log welcome to TechEdu. And this is what we're gonna have. Now, normally if you want to call out your function, what do? You just call it out like this. But because we want to call it inside of our script.js, we will not call it here. We will export that function. And what is the function name? Alert message. So I'm going to export default. And I'm going to say alert message. Right? You can do it this way, or you can do it the new fashion way by saying export alert message. This also works. You can either do it this way, or you can do it this way, depending on the one that you want. So I'll do it this way. Now, in script.js, you will now go ahead and import the function name from where? From app.js. So how are we going to do it? I'm going to say import, right? Then I'm going to import the function name, which is what? Alert message. Then where am I importing it from? From where? This app, which is here, app.js. App.js. Let me write it like that's the file name, right? Don't forget, I think I explained this. We should all understand what this means right now when we did the Git and GitHub and some of those command line tools, right? This dot forward slash means you are going into another particular file in the same file path. Do you get it now? So now, if we now call out this function now, we can now go ahead and call out alert message function, right? And make it work in this script.js. Now, just because I've already got a link script.js and I'm giving a type of module, all I have to do is come right here and see welcome to TechEdu in the console. But first of all, this welcome to TechEdu was not defined in script.js. It was defined in what? App.js. But because I exported it and imported it as a module, what happened? I can now use that particular function. Now, what's the purpose of modules? It allows you to reuse functions across multiple files in many ways. So you don't have to define all of those things over and over and over again. I hope we all understand this now. Is it clear to everybody? Is it clear to everybody? This is very much important that we get. This is very much important. Is it clear to everybody? Is it clear? Miss Favour, yeah, you have a question.
Yes, sir. So this module, can we also import like from the web, not in the same relative file paths from somewhere else? Can we import from there as well?
Sorry, I didn't hear you. I didn't get the question, rather.
I said, can we also import like some of those functions from the web, not in the same file paths?
Yes, exactly.
Like that one.
Exactly. And that brings me to my next point, which is this particular thing that you just imported here. So you might be asking, how exactly are these things going to work? This is a module, but where are we importing it from? Firebase auth. We're not importing it from our own file. We're importing it from where? Firebase. I told you that when we talk about backend as a service, it has a particular place where all of those things has been written for you already. All you have to do is get the template and implement it in your code. Now that's exactly what this is. So you're importing get auth and create user email and password module from where? Firebase auth. So this is a module right here. That's why I have to explain module first. This is a module right here. So why? You are importing it from Firebase. So it's very, very possible for you to import a function that is not from your code. All you have to do is make sure that it is connected. And how will it be connected? We've done that already. So check it out. It is connected through the what? Through this API key. We've connected it already like this. So as long as you're connected to Firebase, you can now go ahead and use their module. Please, is it clear to you now? It's Favour. Is
Yes, sir.
that clear to
Yes,
you now?
sir.
Okay.
Thank you.
So who else understands what modules are? Mr. David, Mr. Pius, Mr. Shegun, Mr. Kelvin, Miss Ugochi, even though you joined a bit late. So what we are doing now, I'm still going to try as much as possible to like just recap a little bit on Monday, like I did in our last class. Recap a little bit on Monday, but we are going to be going into writing more codes on Monday for you to be able to understand what we are doing. Please, do we understand this? Is it clear to us?
Yes, I understand it.
Okay. Mr. Shegun, Mr. Favor, sorry, Miss Favor, okay, I think Mr. Favor understands it. Mr. Kelvin and Mr. David, please, do you understand it?
Yes, I'm following. I'm following.
Okay, Mr. David, what about you, sir? Okay, so let's move on. Now, since we don't understand modules, the next thing that I need to explain now is how exactly are we going to how exactly does module affect what we do with Firebase? Just like I said everybody should go ahead and copy this, right? Now, if you check what happened here, they said import get authentication, and this particular module, this module is a function that has been written by Firebase already. And what's the function name? Create user with email and password from where? Firebase auth. Now, that is why I asked first of all explain what modules are. So now, after getting the module, you can I go ahead and what? Use the function, which is everything as is here. Now, that's why I said you can go ahead and what? Copy it. Now, since you've copied it, right here, you can now go ahead and what? Write your own logic for it to work. So yes, this is everything that you actually need to create your own user authentication, user sign up, user login, and everything. This is everything that you need to know. But first of all, you need to what? Go ahead and also what? Try and create your own authentication. Now, for instance, what you just have here is a function to authenticate user, to be able to what? Create user to be able to create user password or create user email, create user information. But you've not actually what? Created users information. You've not created a logic to create the user's information. So what do you have to do? You have to go ahead and what? Create this user authentication yourself. That is how you now what? Write your own logic. Do you understand it now? So now that's basically what we're going to be doing now. And then I'm going to be explaining to us how all of these things work. Please, I need to understand if everybody understands what we've done so far. Is it clear to everybody?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm just going to now what exactly we want to do is that we want users to be able to sign up with their email and password. That's the first thing. Then also we want to be able to allow user store their data to the database. So these are the two things that we want to do. Users should be able to sign up and sign up and sign in. Sorry, sign up with email and password, and then store those data in the what? In the database. Now, these are the two things that we want to be able to do. So first of all, let us go ahead and what? Create a particular user authentication with the credentials that we have here now. So we're just going to go ahead and what? Have a little bit of data right here. Now, if users are going to be signing up, two things are very much important. Now, the first thing that users have to input is what? Users have to input their email. Users also have to what? Input their password, isn't it? So that means for us to be able to what? Authenticate users, we need these two details, isn't it? Please, I need everybody to like, let me know if you're following on, or maybe you're not following on. I think Someone is typing, probably Mr. Pyle.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, okay. So, all right. Now, we need to be able to authenticate users with two different things, email and what? Password, which means we need to create a particular logic that surrounds us getting the user details of this email and password. So how are we going to go ahead and do this? Now, this is how we're going to do it. First of all, we're going to create an object that takes in, remember when I was talking about objects the other time? And I said, so when we talk about objects and we say const user detail, right? Now, user details, we can use objects to get, so we can, for instance, we can get the name of the person. So I'm just going to can get the name of the person, right? So I'm just going to say name, right? I'm going to call this John Doe. John Doe, right? Then we can also get email of the person, which is going to be like, so we can just say email can be like John Doe at example. Now these are objects. Why? We can also get the password of the person, which is not advisable, but let's just say password, right? Then password 12345 or 123, whatever the name is. Now this is an object. This is a way you get user details, and you can easily authenticate users with these things. Now that is exactly what we are going to be doing. Now in this place, we're going to get user details by using objects. Now, how are we going to do this? But for now, let us come back to our UI. For the sign up, three things will be affected in this sign up. The first is your what? Your email input. The second is your what? Your password input that is here. And the third is your sign up button. So what do you have to do? You need to bring these three things inside of your what? Inside of your JavaScript code. So we'll come to your, let's go to signup.html. So in my signup.html, my, where's my email? My email has an ID of email. It has, my password has an ID of password. Then my button, which says sign up, has an ID of BTN. So I'm going to go ahead and bring all of those things into my application. So I'm going to say const. So I'm going to say const sign up. Oh, that was a mistake. Okay. Yeah. I'm going to say const sign up BTN, sign up BTN, right? Will now be equals to what? Document.get element by ID. So what's the name? I think it should be BTN, right? BTN. That's the first one. Let me split my screen so that we can see the HTML side. So this is it. So we've gotten this particular sign up BTN now. The next one is to get the password, which is ID. We'll do the same thing right here. So I'm going to say, const, let's say, I don't think we need the password. What we need right now should be, okay, I think we need the password also. So let's say email input, sorry. Okay, so I'm going to say email input, or let's just say email equals to what? Documents.query get element by ID. Then I think it should be email also. Let's check it. Yeah, email. So let's say email. Good. Now that's what we want. Now, what's the third one? The third one is not going to be what? We also need to get the password, right? So we're also going to get the password. So let's check it out. Also password. So now that is basically the two things that we need to get for now. But there is also one more thing that you need to understand that I've always said. And it is the fact that if you check this particular place, so we'll check it out. If you check this particular place, this is an input. This is an input. So if we are about to get data from an input, what exactly are we going to get from that input? Please can answer this question. This is a very important question. So I want you to check these two things. You have an email input here. You have a password input here. If you are going to use whatever users are going to input here to get an authentication or get a particular functionality, what exactly are you going to be importing in your JavaScript? We've done this over and over and over again, so I think everybody should be able to get this now. Ms. Favor, Mr. Shegun, Mr. Pius, for us to be able to use the values coming out from your input, what exactly are you going to be getting in your JavaScript? What are you going to be importing? What are you going to be importing in your JavaScript to be able to get it from your HTML? Nobody. Okay, so we'll be looking at ourselves like this till the end of today's class. Everybody will be looking at each other. Ms. Favor, please go ahead.
I'm not sure what we are importing though, but I thought we are going to create a variable that is going to store the value of the inputs of the users.
Exactly.
So we can say
exactly.
let's so dot value.
Exactly. So what inputs are they storing? Email and what? Password. That means what exactly we are going to be storing here is not exactly the email, but the dot value of the email. Do you understand now? Do you understand it? So what we're storing is what? The value of the email and the password, because that's what we need to get. And what are the values? The values are the inputs that they write here. So in this place now, I write paul@yahoo.com. This is what? This is the value of the email. Now I write 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. This is the value of the password. Do you get it now? So these things are the values. These are the things that really matters when you're trying to authenticate your user. So what you need to get is the value. That is why I'm not exactly getting the email input. I'm getting the value of that input. So as I'm not getting just the email input of the password, I'm getting the value of the password imputed by the user. So that I can now take that value in this place and then I can go ahead and give the authentication that I want to give the user. Please, is this understood? Do you understand why you're getting the value? Because we've done this over. We did this when we were working on the tip calculator. We did this when we were working on palindrome. We did this when we were working on a lot of things, right? We are always getting the value. Even the to-do list that we worked on, we did this also. Value. Whenever you're working on input or form, always know that you are interested in the value gotten from the user. Please, do we understand this? If you understand it, give me a thumbs up. If you don't, I can still explain it again. Please, do we understand this? Please give me a thumbs up if you understand. Okay, I'll explain it again. So, what I am saying now is that, for instance, if a user imputes paul@gmail.com here, right? And they impute 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 as their password here. And they click on sign up. Now, think about it. What is your server going to check? Your server is going to check whatever they input here and whatever they input here. So whatever imputed in this place is actually the value of that particular user. So when we're doing JavaScript DOM, I spoke to you about two major things. I said in JavaScript DOM, we have two things. We have methods and then we have properties. So we have methods and then we have properties, right? Now, methods are basically ways of getting your JavaScript, your HTML files in your JavaScript, just like you have CSS selectors. That's how your methods are. Now, properties are now properties of those HTML elements. For instance, the text is a property. Then we also have inner HTML, inner text, a lot of things. The style is also a property. Now, we also have the value. And I said value most of the times are often tied to input. That's your form input. And why? Because most of the time you want to use what get the value of whatever the user is inputting. And I told you, if you put Paul here at gmail.com, that is actually the value of this input. And this is what you're going to be working with most of the time. Do you get it now? So now, what exactly we are interested in from the user is the value of what the user inputs here. So that's why we are going to go ahead and get the value in this place rather than just getting the element name. That's what I'm saying. Email equals to what? Document.getElement by ID, the email dot what value. Similarly, password dot value. Now, that is exactly why we are getting the value. Please, is it clear to you now, Mr. Gochi? I know you're probably not here when we talked about is it DOM? You're probably not here when we talked about DOM manipulation. But with what I just explained now, do you at least have an idea of what I'm trying to say? Okay. So everybody's just code today. I don't like the fact that everybody's not responding. Just few people are responding. I can count the amount of people that are responding. Probably just Miss Favor, Mr. Pius, Mr. Shegun once in a while, and Mr. Kelvin. Mr. Kelvin also once in a while. Mr. David, I've not really heard from you today. I don't know if you are if you understand it or you have issues with it. I need everybody to let me know if this is understood or maybe I have more work to do on Monday. So that's one of the things that's one of the reasons why I'm trying to get everybody's input. Is it clear to you?
Yes, you have more work to do on Monday.
The thing is that I don't think you should actually bank on Monday because not that I'm not going to be there on Monday. What I'm trying to say is that I think it is very much important that we try to understand it now rather than saying, oh, we'll just wait till Monday. So this is not hard at all. This is very, very easy. I just want you to, if you notice, it's actually like a combination of what we've done in the past classes. Objects, values, DOM manipulation, right? Just trying to further on what we've done, on what we've done in the last time. So I think we should just try as much as possible. If you don't understand it now, just let me know so that I can explain it again. Rather than trying to wait till Monday, because Monday I will not go back this deep on Monday. I'll just further again. Probably just give you a little bit of revision and move on again because we have a lot to still cover over the next 4 days or 5 days. So that's one of the reasons why I'm saying, do we understand it or we do not understand? It's important that I get a response from everybody.
Actually, I cannot say I understand or not, but I'm catching up, sha. I'm trying to follow up. So
Okay. Okay. Mr. Ashegun, please, do you understand it? Mr. Ashegun, Mr. Pius, is it clear to you, please?
Yes, so far I understand it so far for now.
Okay. All right. So now let us move on. So now we've been able to import two things that we need right here. So the first thing that we imported is the email. Second is the what is the password. Now we're going to go ahead and create user data, right? And the user data is going to be an object. So how are we going to do it? I'm just going to go ahead and say, oh, since we have a user credential here, so we have user credentials in this place already, right? This user credential is really tied to whatever user is going to be inputting their password or email on our website. So we can just go ahead and say const user data, right, should now be equals to what? Should have user data equals, okay, let me close this. I think we should have a fuller screen. Yeah. So let's say user data, where is it? Yeah, user data should now be equals to us. So we should have a UID. Now, why are we using UID? Let me first of all remove this so that we can understand it. Each user should be able to be so let me give an example. For example, what happens when you have so let's say you have a username, right? Let's say you have a username, and then the username of user A. So let's say for user A has a username of Paul Levite. Now, user B now has a username of Paul Levite. Now, please note something. You have Levites and then you have Levites. Now, there is every tendency that these two users probably get mixed up, probably in your database, right? Because there are so many similarities. And again, if you do not give each of these users a unique ID, and what is that ID? ID is like an identity. If you do not give each of them a unique ID, what happens is that all of them will just go ahead and assume and say, okay, every user is a user. It's just one user. So what this UID does, or this unique ID does, what this unique ID does is that when you have one particular user here, you have another particular user here, you can differentiate that, okay, this is user one, this is user two. But if you do not have a unique ID, you just automatically see all users as what? One user. You understand it now? That is why it's very much important that each user has a unique ID, which is called a what? A UID. So you can say what? UID. So now in this place, I can now say the UID, which is the user ID in this place. I can now go ahead and say, okay, since we have a user here already, I cannot say user.uid, which will be automatically generated by Firebase. Since they already say, okay, this is user credential. Now our email will not be what? Will not be what? User.email. So automatically now we'll be able to what? Get the user email. So now we've gotten two things: user ID and user email. Now, if I go ahead and say console.log user data, let's say user data, right? And so first of all, I think I need to first of all wrap this up in. So we've been doing this the wrong way. So I don't think we've actually been doing this wrong way. So now let us actually tie this to like an event listener. So let's say where's the sign up BTN? Let's say sign up BTN dot add event listener. Then we're going to listen for a click event. And the click event is going to take in this function that we have here. So I'm going to copy this and put the function right. Do we actually need that particular function? So let me see. Okay, yeah. So we're going to have the function right here. So I'm going to have, okay, so you have this. I'm going to have an arrow function. Yeah, so this is it. Then we're going to copy this particular create user with email and password, and then we're going to paste it right here. So now whenever we click on this particular button that we have here now, what happens? It is going to automatically authenticate us. So now let's try let's try and see what we have now. Oh, let's go back to our sign up.html first and change this to script.js. Okay, I think this is it. Firebase auth.js. So this should be it. So let us try it out and let's see what we have. So if I refresh my sign up page, and I'm going to go ahead and inspect. So we'll see what we have. Please, can we all hear me now? Where did we have we been hearing me since, or it's just the network that has been giving us issues?
I can hear you. I've been hearing you since.
I've been hearing you since.
Okay, I have to turn off my video. According to them, I think it's consuming a lot of network. So let's continue. So what I'm saying is that if you come right here now, you check it out. If I impute levitech at agency@gmail.com and I click on sign up, I want you to know what happens or what you see in this place. If I click on sign up, okay, it wants me to fill out this place. Then I'll click on sign up. So you see, failed to resolve module specifier. Okay, now the problem we have right now is that the module we copied for Firebase right here is for Node.js. Now, I know we don't understand what Node.js is at the moment, but if you have this auth that is here, what I just want you to do is replace it with this particular one that is up here. So just copy it, copy this one here, and remove this Firebase auth that is here. Now, for the second one, change the app to what? To auth. Then you can try it again. So let's try it again first before you try it. Let me see if it works. I'm going to refresh and I'm going to press it again and see what happens. So now let us try it again. Levitech agency, then put this and then sign up. Okay, click is not defined. Okay, there's a problem with this. Saying click is not defined. Okay. So let's try it again now. And let's see what happens. Sign up. Okay, there's another problem. All right, this should work now. Okay, so there's a bad response. All right, so I've actually done a lot of things right now that I think is going to cause problem. So what's going to happen now is I'm going to pause it here and give us time to probably ask questions to let me know what issue you have right here. Because if I move further now, there's every tendency that you probably will not understand what I am doing. So so far, do we get it? Is it clear to everybody?
Sorry to bother you, sir. All those this thing that you said we should copy. Are we supposed to go to Google and type Firebase and then copy it from their link?
Okay, so yes, we did that already from the beginning of the class. So what I'm just going to advise is probably at the end of this, I'm going to upload it now so that you have access to the videos. So by the end of this class, just go ahead and watch the beginning of it so you can understand. Just follow it step by step. If you can understand that part, trust me, Firebase is not hard. This is easier for you to like quickly get it. Do you get? Then on Monday also, I'm going to actually stop the class here and ask questions. And sorry, receive questions, right? Because this is a lot of things for you to cram and catch up on. So I just need to know if everybody understands what we've been doing so far. So don't worry, on Monday we'll still go ahead. I'm still going to have to like recap on a lot of things that we've done. I will try as much as possible to be in the office on Monday. In fact, I will make sure that I'm in the office on Monday so that a physical class is going to be better. Right now, it looks as if this online class is like a barrier for a lot of us. So I'm going to try to make sure that is not a problem in our next class on Monday. So please, any questions so far? I'm going to stop recording now. Any questions so
Yes,
far?
another question. I want to also know if the fact that I'm having
Please go
issues in
ahead.
understanding certain part of JavaScript